Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today, if you will. Uh, Look in the book of Philippians, chapter 1. We'll be in verses 22 and 23 today. And as you're doing that, again, would be very grateful if you would like, share, or comment on the post, any one or combination of those three things. And I would appreciate that. Again, it doesn't make me any money. It doesn't. It just, again, one thing it does, it lets me know you're there, and also, but more importantly, it lets the hosting folks know that you're there and that people are interested and watching, and therefore they will put it in front of more people. Don't know how all that works behind the scenes. I just know that that is the system that we are given. So Philippians chapter 1. Now that you've liked, shared, and or commented, Philippians chapter 1, verse 22. Paul says, "If I am to live in the flesh, that means fruitful labor for me. Yet which I shall choose, I cannot tell. I am hard pressed between the two. My desire is to depart and be with Christ, for that is far better." These two verses describe the great dilemma that believers uh, that they wrestle with, that they struggle with. Um, as a believer, we know we have a promise of eternity in heaven with Christ, and we read in Scripture about some of the description of what He has prepared for us, and we know that again the Bible tells us that our minds we can't even begin to imagine how the magnitude, the beauty of what Christ has for His people. But and there's a piece of us that wants to go there and wants to see that, wants to be with Christ, and wants to be reunited with our loved ones who have gone on. Wants to see the disciples, the apostles, the great men and women of God, and get out of this evil, rotten world, sin-filled, sin-corrupted world. But then there's part of us that wants to be here, don't want to leave behind our family and our friends, our children, grandchildren. Still feel like we have things to do. We want to, again, and so the believer has this great dilemma. Paul says it's being hard pressed. It's like being the rope in the tug of war. That we struggle with that, and he says, part of me, my desire is to depart. He says, part of me wants to go, and then he's going to go on in the next verse and say, but I need to stay too. Um, and to somebody who doesn't know Christ, they may think you've lost your mind if you start talking about wanting to go on and be with the Lord. Somebody who is a believer understands that struggle, that tug of war again, very clearly, and understands the dilemma that a believer wrestles with. That again, that desire. We want to be here to teach our children and our grandchildren and family and friends and tell them about Christ. And I guess on one hand we think, well, I'm not going to be able to do much good if I'm gone. But on the other hand, the idea of again of getting on to heaven is very tempting, and makes us want to go on and be with Him. And so we struggle with that. But Paul knows, and he's going to say that as he moves on. He says, I know it's important that I stay here and continue to work and to serve the Lord. And that's the reminder for us today. Somebody's used the phrase one time. I don't know who originated it, but said some believers are so heavenly minded they're no earthly good. We live with one foot in this world, and one foot in another world. And as much as we look forward to eternity and all all the things that Christ has been preparing. I think about that phrase when Christ said, I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, there you may be also. Can you imagine? He's had now about 2,000 years of preparing, and what a beautiful, wonderful place he has prepared. But in the meantime, we have work to do. We need to be busy till the day he does come and get us, whether that's through the grave, through the rapture, that we stay busy. We stay be found laboring when he does come. And so it's great to think about heaven and to be reminded of what he does have in store. But, that really ought to be a motivation for us because we do know what he has in store. As someone else has said, I'll use another quote that I don't know where it came from. It says, the goal of every believer ought to be to get to heaven and take as many people with him as possible. Let's keep one eye on heaven, but keep our hand to the wheel. All right, you have a good day, and we'll see you here tomorrow morning.